Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the iceHQ ice rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia. And more enjoy and more we're on traditional land for the iceHQ Pro League Summer 2023-24. I'm Carl Brewer, and joining me once again this evening is the erudite Anton Goss. It's great to have you here with me again, Gossy. We will do our best to entertain, inform, and educate everyone about tonight's games. Friday night is hockey night here at iceHQ, and this is round 7 of our third season, and we're in the middle of the middle. It's the Reservoir Dogs versus the Snipers. The third time these teams have met throughout the season. The Dogs, they're on a heater. Not quite the same heater as Edmonton, but they are on fire at the moment. The last 3 games, they've won 8-2 against the Inferno, 6-1 against the Snipers, and 5-2 against the Inferno. The Snipers last game had a 7-3 win over a very depleted Inferno, but they've been a bit patchy through the season. What have the Dogs done well? Well, mostly, Gossy, they've kept out of the penalty box this season, haven't they?
Yeah, they've done a really good job. They're known to be a physical team, and sometimes they can go over that edge. But this season, they've stayed out of the box, but they've also been punishing teams that have been parading to the box. And we saw that last week with that comeback win against the Inferno. If you remember, the Inferno scored seconds into the game, Team Nikodin, and then the Dogs got on the power play. They actually went 2 for 2 that game, and it was really that cross-seam pass that they saw both times from Jamie Burke over to Jasov that worked so well.
Yeah, it was straight out of the playbook there, and the Inferno were a bit slack on that. But tonight's not about the Inferno, tonight's about the Snipers. And I've got to say, if there's a team that can beat the Dogs this season, it's looking like the Snipers are the only ones. But Vajasov and Rachinsky, they have been superb together. They've really started to combine well over the last couple of games, and every time they're on the ice, they look scintillatingly dangerous. But Jamie Burke's just got the 3 goals, and he's playing on the second line, which for him is an interesting decision, but it does give the Dogs that massive backup on their regulation play.
I mean, we saw those three players play together game 1 against the Snipers, and they were the only line making the magic happen for the Dogs. And if you go back to that game, that's their only one blemish this season, right? The shootout loss against the Snipers to open the season. So obviously spreading the wealth out a little bit, that's going to help. I see Ryan Ruddle back on the ice tonight. He wasn't here last week. Maybe we'll see Jamie playing with his good buddy Ryan Ruddle, and that might elevate that second line.
And Corey Stringer too, combining them as well. We know they've got some good history as well. One thing I think the Snipers have done that they've in their games where they've improved is they've changed around where they're playing Liam Webster. I personally think Liam Webster's a bit wasted in defence. He's had to play back there a few times, but he's got such a good play as a centre, and he wins so many face-offs and creates so much play from those face-offs. It's a much underrated part of the game, but I know how important it is. Win those face-offs when they matter, and Liam Webster does that so well, and he's going to be a chance. If the Snipers are to give themselves a good chance, he's got to fire, and I think he's got to play forwards.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously you can't negate how effective he is as a defender, but he's got one of the best shots in the country.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen it firsthand here. He's able to make goalies look foolish, pick spots that don't seem to be there. And, you know, he really uses that toe drag release, that what Austin Matthews kind of has started to do in the NHL to make it famous. Webby's been doing that for a number of years, and when he's up forward, you know he's a chance to score.
Just looking, it looks like Troy Robinson's wearing number 12 tonight. You might have had a dirty jersey or something or other. We'll just double check on that one, but we're just going to make sure we get the numbers right. But something else that the Snipers will need to work out, they're going to have to get their defence a little bit organised. There was a little bit of a push and shove the last time these two teams played against each other just 3 weeks ago, which was started when Lockie Sincotta and Jamie Burke had a bit of a collision mid-ice. It wasn't on camera, so you can't quite see it. But Jamie did have a knee reconstruction a few years ago at the first round of the Duck season way back in 20-something or other. Anyway, whenever it was. And if you've ever had a knee reconstruction, you can be a bit angsty about it. And he did have a collision, and as a result, there was a bit of a blow-up. And it was luckily for the Dogs, it happened right at the very end of a game where they already had a commanding lead. But there may be some feist between these two teams, Gossy.
I think the Snipers will be fired up. They believe, I've spoken to a number of their players, spoken to their coach, they believe they have what it takes to win this competition this season. And from the looks of it, as the standings sit right now, their real competition is going to be these Dogs on the other side. The Dogs have come alive after that first loss. They've started to see a lot of their players come back. Mikey James in the net, standing tall. And they're getting the offense from their lines. But the Snipers, they roll 3 lines deep. They just roll them line after line. They try to grind down the team and work hard to get wins. We're going to need to see that effort from them if they're going to beat the Dogs tonight.
I think we're going to see Bradley Apps too. He always looks dangerous, but he hasn't really connected as well as we know he's capable of throughout this season. So there's another player too who so far hasn't really shown us everything that he's capable of, and that's been Kahu Joyce. He's been effective, but he hasn't really sparkled like he has in the last couple of seasons. So if the Dogs can get Joyce going, and if the Snipers can get Bradley Apps going, then we have ourselves an absolute feast this evening of some A-grade hockey.
Yeah, back in the net for the Snipers. Chris Leatham, he played so well last time out, sparkling 9.14 save percentage. But down the other way, 2 games, Mikey James, a 9.49. So both goalies will be looking to stop lots of pucks tonight, and we're underway, and that's Corey Stringer sending that deep into the Sniper zone. It's back with Sincata here, one of only 2 players on the Snipers yet to record a point this season. It's now with Birchler, who chips that forward. It's come over to Stringer. Back there for Birchler. Birchler winds, takes a shot there, and that one goes wide. Just gets passing Michael McMahon, and that is waved off as Leatham comes out of the net, and he chips that away from the always dangerous Vadim Verjasov, leading the league with 11 points.
Puck bounced around everyone there. Kahu Joyce was just caught in a little bit deep, but Verjasov will dump it in, and Raczynski deep on a dive. This is an opportunity for both teams to try and get a change. Interesting timing on the change there for the Snipers.
Intercepted here by Verjasov over to Raczynski. A nice defensive play there by Sincata as that nearly made its way over to Raczynski, who had a wide open net.
The Snipers picked a bad time for a change.
It's great to see a couple of our youngsters back from the under-20 World. That was Maxim Astafiev on the puck there for the Dogs, and that's Spencer Nave that just hit Graham. So Graham now with the puck on his stick. He's got Jamie Burke with him. It does find Burke, who's on the right wing. Wines takes a shot but misses everyone. Burke out on the ice now here with Graham, who gets the puck knocked off his stick by Paul Lazzarato.
Lazzarato, another player who's really improved, and we've seen a lot more of them this season than we have in the past. He's having a great season so far.
So puck there on the point, shot by Lockie Walls, blocked. Down in the corner, it's Kikuchi there who sends that high, and that just deflects off the boards into the neutral zone. Puck deep in the Sniper zone. Collected here by Peng, over to Kikuchi. Looking for Luke Buchanan, but that misses everyone, and it will be an icing.
We do have this evening, Troy Robinson is wearing number 12 instead of his usual number 18 this evening. So if you are watching it on the feed, you wouldn't be listening to us, but he's wearing 12. Master of the blindingly obvious tonight. Sorry, Gussie. But Troy Robinson wearing number 12 this evening, not his normal number 16 is what he normally wears.
So Knox facing off against Barrett. It's won by the Dogs over to the side, but collected there by the winger there for the Snipers. Puck's behind the net now. Sent back to the point. Bounces over the stick of Khalil, and there'll be no icing on this one as Liam Webster is the first forechecker in for the Snipers.
Nicely read there, though, by Freight Train Ray, who just played it up the other side.
There's Ryan Ruddle. You know how much I love calling his name back from the days in the Pacific League with the Melbourne Ducks. Let's see if he can get on the score sheet. Wasn't here last week.
He certainly did tickle the twine on a number of occasions in those Ducks games, and they were very exciting games indeed. Some of the best hockey we've seen here at iceHQ, that's for sure. We do miss them, but the boys now are playing for the Dogs and the Snipers. Interesting
to see a little change up of the lines. We talked about Liam Webster playing center, but he's on the wing here, and the shot by McMahon couldn't go through the bodies, and that will squirt out and force the Snipers through, but here come the Dogs. It's on the stick of the Kiwi. Ryan Ruddle takes a shot and a blocking arm save there by Leatham.
Nice move to set that up there by Knox.
Puck's now behind the net. It's chipped away by the Snipers, collected by McMahon.
Liam Webster just sneaking out, trying to look for that stretch pass, getting behind Ray.
Stolen by Davey Barrett here. So Dave Barrett, great player, sends it through to Webster. Holds up, back to Sincata with a shot that went off the back of Buchanan. But McMahon able to keep that one in. Snipers still have it in the offensive zone. It's with Dave Barrett now behind the net. He's rubbed out by Ray Khalil, but still on the puck. That squirts out into the neutral zone there. It's Gowers, who, great interview last week. He trips up Buchanan, and the Dogs are going to go to the penalty box as it was Gowers trying to win the puck back off Buchanan, and he will be sitting for 2 or less.
So the Dogs will have their first penalty kill of the game. That penalty there, the referees have no discretion on that. If your stick forces an opponent to lose their footing, it's an automatic 2-minute penalty, whether or not it was intentional. And there was a pretty good argument that was contesting the puck. It wasn't an intentional trip by any stretch. All the players know the rule. It doesn't make any difference. You still spend time in the box.
Keys to the game. We're talking about how the Dogs could stay out of the power play, but Gower gets a 2-minute here, and here's McMahon walking off the point, takes a shot, but that was a great toe save there by James.
McMahon didn't put too much on that one either. It was a big wind-up, but not a lot of power behind it.
Looking for the pad rebound probably, and here's Verjasov now circling in his own zone. He builds up some speed, being watched by Birchler, takes it wide, stops up, head up, looking for some play, but a good poke check there by McMahon sends the Dogs back.
This is running the clock down. The Dogs with possession, killing that 2 minutes.
About 1:30 left on this power play for the Snipers. It's McMahon with the puck in his own zone.
So this first penalty kill was Kahu, and he swaps out for Jamie Burke now. So it's Kahu and Vajasov.
And here is Todd Cutter with it now here for the Snipers on his off wing. Tried to chip that back on the half wall, but intercepted nicely by Verjasov. Puck's been on his stick the most so far on this penalty kill. Robertson.
Burke gets some room.
And Robertson finds him. So here comes Jamie Burke over the blue line. He's waiting for Verjasov to go to the net. Now centers it through. Verjasov has the puck knocked off his stick, and the Snipers are now out 3 wide. It's a 3-on-2 if they can get quickly going. It's Kikuchi on the backhand. Stick save there by James. Walking is Gallagher, and he takes a shot, and another blocking arm save there by James, his best of the game. Spencer Naves lost his stick, so all he could do is kick it forward. Kevin Peng's going to get there before Jamie Burke, and he'll recycle the puck through to Gallagher here in their own zone.
Great defensive there play by Lockie Wall for the Dogs. He kept them in it.
24 seconds remaining here on the penalty to Gowers. We've had 2 great opportunities for the Snipers, but 2 blocking arm saves there by Mikey James keeps this game at 0-0. Jamie Burke with it, gives it across. Winding is Astafiev, and he shot that high and wide as Leatham was far out of his net, ready to pounce.
Full strength.
Gallagher now over to Lazzarato, evades the check there of Harris. Back to Kikuchi. Kikuchi, nice toe drag, stolen there by Astafiev. And the Dogs are out the other way. Fresh off the bench is Luke Buchanan, who has it now for the Snipers, but sends that away to the stick of Ray Khalil, who shot that one off a sniper leg and into the bench.
Good opportunity now for the Dogs to get the change that they needed. A few of them have been out on that penalty kill for quite a while. It's fairly high intensity. Did a good job early on, Vajasov controlling that puck a lot, running the clock down, but Jamie Burke was stuck out for a long time on the PK.
Here's Ryan Ruddle on the puck now, and it gets over to Knox. Sent forward and picked up now here by the Sniper defender. Puck's chipped forward. Sent deep into the Sniper zone, collected there by McMahon.
Corey Stringer just showing the advantage of that great big long reach that he has. He's such an effective defenseman. Stringer.
And here's Michael McMahon in the zone, galloping forward on the backhand, takes a shot. The rebound was there for Buchanan, but cleared away by Stringer. Puck sent behind the net. Rimmed around, Barrett battles there on the half wall with Ruddle. It comes out to Barrett now. Passes it forward. Buchanan with a shot, rebounds loose on the stick of Barrett now and stolen by Ryan Ruddle. Nice job there by Webster to intercept that one. Keeps his legs moving, but the puck is picked up there by Knox. It's rims around here for Verjasov, through into the neutral zone, and here come the Dogs through Ruddle. Ryan Ruddle evades one check. Puck's loose. Comes off the glove there to Raczynski, but eventually it's Todd Cutter who gets it out.
Jacob Labour there for the Snipers, doing a great job of trying to connect the control, but Vajasov now has it for the Dogs.
He drops it there, gets it to Robertson off the leg there of Apps, who's the first time we've called his name tonight as he lays a hit on Lockie Walls in front of the Snipers bench. Raczynski here, we've seen him score 4 goals in his debut, has it, but it's stolen by Kikuchi now. A little bit more legs for Kikuchi this game after he came straight from an international flight to the game last week.
That's right. The last time he played here last week, he just fresh off the plane and probably half asleep. But he was playing on a lot of hype and energy and possibly some culture shock. He's a very creative player. He doesn't like to play and handle the puck a lot in his defensive zone. He wants to be a bit careful he doesn't get dispossessed. Someone like Vajasov will quite cheerfully take it off him.
There's Raczynski with a shot. That one goes high and wide. Collected here by the Snipers and sent out into the neutral zone. Walls now with it for the Dogs. Chips it forward. Nice little pitch there. And here comes Kahu Joyce being watched there by Sincata. And Sincata does a nice job to send him into the corner, but it does find Raczynski now. Raczynski cross ice, looking for Vajasov, a little too hot to handle. And here comes the speed of Kikuchi. Forward to Apps. Apps on the backhand, just takes it behind. Curls, looks for an option. He's got Sincata, but decides to recycle that behind the net. Lazzarato is going to be first to it here for the Snipers. He's pinned up there by the defensive work of Robertson, and here come the Dogs now 2-on-2. It's Verjasov and Raczynski. Raczynski now with a shot, and a bounce there nearly found Verjasov as Raczynski falls in front of the net, and pinching here is Maxim Astafiev.
Kikuchi did a great job there of getting in away. It was a nice piece of space creation. Verjasov with a nice little drop pass to Raczynski as he shot behind him.
Coming out there, shot on, and a save by Leatham. Raczynski collects the rebound, a little bit of offensive pressure here for the Dogs. Karini's out here now with Verjasov and Raczynski. Karini with the puck. Sends it across over to Stringer. Snipers caught chasing a little bit here. Verjasov with it.
Dogs are throwing everyone in deep. They want to be careful they don't let Gallagher get behind them.
And here now is Kikuchi. He drops it for Gallagher, who was looking in front to Lazzarato, but a soft pass intercepted by Maxim Astafiev and sent down the length of the ice, and icing waved off as Peng gets back there for the Snipers.
There's the opportunity the Dogs needed to get Vajasov. They've done another long shift. I'm not sure if Raczynski's still on the ice. Raczynski's off as well. Just as well for them. Those boys would have been pretty tired.
So here's Graham Matheson with the puck. Or Matheson Graham, sorry. And it's Dave Barrett now looking to stretch that pass to Gallagher, but Gallagher's going to go for a change, and off the bench comes the captain, Liam Webster, for the Snipers. So in is Graham. 3 games played so far this season. 0 goals, 0 assists. He's looking to get his first point in the season.
So far, this game's been a good struggle. There's been no clear dominance by either team. And we will have a stoppage as the puck deflects off Jamie Burke into the bench. And we'll have a restart just outside the defensive zone for the Snipers. Webster's been pretty effective so far. Raczynski and Vajasov have created some opportunities. And the combination between them, they do this lovely little drop pass where Raczynski skates across behind Vajasov and picks up the puck and makes space. And they've done that a number of times, but so far the Snipers have been up to it.
Yeah, you know, when you look at it, it's Raczynski, Verjasov, and Burke really the top scorers for the Dogs. It's 11 points each for Verjasov and Burke, and Raczynski coming in with 9. And then after that, it kind of drops off. You're looking at 2-3 points for the rest of the players. So you know the Snipers are going to be keen to shut down those 3, and maybe that's why Coach Lefkowitz is trying to spread the wealth a little bit across the lines.
It may also be an opportunity if those guys are being marked for the other players who haven't been on the board quite so much to put their mark on the board.
Well, here comes one of the top defensemen here in the league. It's Michael McMahon, who sends that over there to Peng. Gets it up to Webster, who stretch pass looking for Barrett. Intercepted, and the Dogs come through the other way. Robertson lays the body there on Buchanan and just sends that back to his goaltender, who will cover up with the captain, Liam Webster, sitting on the doorstep.
Just over 5 minutes to play in this first period. It's still 0 apiece. 1 penalty to Flynn Gower for tripping at 13 minutes to go. 6 shots also, which is a very fair reflection at the moment of the state of the game. Let's have a look and see how this face-off works. If Vajasov can get a quick break and get behind them, him and Raczynski move quickly from that face-off. They're up the ice very fast.
So that was Kyle Joyce winning that one, and Raczynski now drops it there for Khalil, who will look up there for Vajasov, who just missed that, and Chris Leatham will come out to play that puck.
Vajasov had 2 on him. I think the Sniper's very much aware of the threat that Vajasov poses. Every time he gets the puck, there's 2 Snipers there.
Sent across and just out of the reach of Sincata. It's great to see Sincata and Laver playing with one another. 2 young star defensemen, probably future of Melbourne ice hockey here in Victoria. So here's Jacob Laver turning away from Verjasov, gets it over to his D partner there in Sincata, over to Apps, but it worked out as here comes Jacob Laver. Just overskates the puck, and with that...
Offside.
Todd Cutter.
Toddy Cutter just caught up. That puck just got tangled up in some feet, and as a result, Cutter's momentum was just fine if the puck had gone the way he was expecting it to, but that just a little bit of hesitation, and he crosses the blue line before the puck does, and we are offside the Snipers.
So puck's now with Michael McMahon. He sends that on, and a stick save over to the right, or the left there of Mikey James.
Uncharacteristic, a little bit of mishandling there by Lockie Walls.
Now here it is, though, Jamie Burke. He's got Graham to his right, and Carini to his left. Carini with a burst of speed takes a shot and hits that one wide as Chris Leatham was stacking the pads.
No, Yukikuchi
Here's
did a great
Burke
job
now
defending
on the
that one.
backhand. He shoots, and that one goes wide again. It squirts back out in front, but it's collected here by Nave, and he'll get it out now, sending it over to Logan Gallagher. Second time in that same spot, the Snipers have hit a skate, and that's allowing the Dogs to control this play here late in the first period.
Certainly good scoring opportunity there for the Dogs, but Kikuchi did a superb job.
Nice shot there by Logan Gallagher that nearly handcuffed James.
I'm gonna sing the praises again here, Gossie, of Lockie Walls. He's doing such a great job for the Dogs in defence. He's right up there. We haven't seen, I don't think Trevor Leo's not here today, but he's got that same level of just intelligence about his play. He's not doing anything fancy, but he's there when you need him, cuts off the angles, and just makes sure that nothing untoward occurs on the ice when he's there. Absolutely rock solid, Lockie Walls. He's a player you want.
So here's Michael McMahon walking the line. Gets it over to Webster with a shot, looking for the deflection there of Barrett, but just couldn't connect. McMahon keeps that away from Burke. Tries to pick his pocket, but gets it down to Barrett. Barrett now battles with Carini, but comes out with the puck. Sends it back to McMahon, calling for it as Kikuchi, but McMahon takes the shot, and it does get over to his D partner eventually. He sends that deep. Barrett just rubs out Astafiev. That forces Carini back in his own zone. Barrett not able to jump on that loose puck, and the Dogs look to get it out, but Graham forced back in his zone, and now it's Barrett with it on the half wall. Keeps it away from the Dogs, but only momentarily, and that pass will go all the way out and down the ice, but Matty Knox will get there first to wave that icing off.
So the icing there was outraced by the Dogs. That's why it wasn't called. If you get to the puck first, the referee thinks you're going to get to the puck first. That rubs the call of icing, and the game is allowed to continue.
Stretch pass here. There's a minute 30 left in the game. That was Webster looking to get on attack, but it's going to come to Flynn Gower. He gives it over to Ruddle, but Ruddle wasn't able to get a stick on it. Now collects it in the corner. Sends it in front, Leatham down, but the Snipers collect, and they send that high and wide, and here comes Apps on a break, but a diving poke check there by James. Gets the puck out of the blue, and that forced Webster back. What a diving play there by Michael James.
Mikey James keeping the Dogs well and truly in it. That was a desperation play for him. He saw Apps coming. Wasn't much he could do except come out and get to the puck first. And he did that absolutely beautifully.
So we're now into the final minute of play here in the first period. Scores level at 0-0 as we look for the first goal of the game.
The Dogs still with the puck deep in the corner with just trying to play it around the back there is Freight Ray, and he's trying to find an option. Gets it up to his point man. Fires a shot in, but it's blocked nicely. Gallagher gets it across, and Gallagher can't quite make the connection. Robinson gets the puck, bounces across the front of Mikey James. It's in the corner now. Looking for an opportunity. James freezes the puck, and that will run the clock down. So with 25 seconds to go in the first, there will be one more face-off. Probably. There's players just a little slow to get out there, not in a huge hurry. And probably both teams would like to see this period over so they can go in the change rooms and have a bit of a debrief. 10 seconds to go now. I think we'll just get the drop of the puck. The Snipers can get one shot away before the whistle goes, so that would be a good outcome for them. They try to get the shot through, but it bounces over the top of everyone. And unfortunately for the Snipers, Paul Lazzarato not quite able to make the connection that he wanted to. So at the end of the first period, it is no goals apiece. Certainly not what anyone would have expected after the last time these two teams met when the Snipers were beaten by the Dogs, not 6-1. Flynn Gower got one 2-minute penalty for a trip. About 13 minutes and 46 to go in that first period. And shots on the net to the Dogs 9 and the Snipers 10, which reflects the evenness of that game. It was a very tense struggle indeed, with neither team able to establish a lead or score any goals. Great play so far from Lockie Walls for the Dogs. He's played superb hockey, and a couple of times Liam Webster's looked very, very dangerous indeed, creating space in front of the net, but not able to get it. Jamie Burke too with a really good opportunity, but he couldn't seize on that one. It looks like we're having an interview now with, I think that's Ryczinski. So we've got Ryczinski. We'll have a quick chat with Anton Goss in just a moment as soon as they get themselves ready, and he'll tell us how that's going with his combination with Vajasov and also with Kahu Joyce. So very shortly, just while they get themselves organised, just to getting cameras and so forth in place, as we should be all ready to go, and we're cutting over to the interview now. Awesome, thanks Carl. I'm here with one of the Dogs sharpshooters, Vladislav Ryczinski.
Pretty tight game so far, 0-0. How do you guys think the game's been going from your side?
I think we play good, just very good team, very good players, and we're a bit tired. We need to do a bit faster than first period, and I reckon second one will be better.
Yeah, well, this was the team that you had your debut in the league, right? The very first game. You guys lost that one in the shootout, but it was memorable. You scored 4 goals that game, one with seconds remaining. What a start. Like, how's it felt just getting to know and learning to play with some of these guys?
I was just lucky boy first game, but thank you for my partners. They gave me very good passes, assistance, and I'm so happy to play here. Just fun every game, and hopefully we win this game as well.
Yeah, well, we love watching you play. You're exciting out there with your line mates, and 3 in a row, 3 on the hop. You guys are winning. Probably odds are in your favor, but it's going to take a lot to break the deadlock. And why don't you go in and speak to coach and figure out what you need? Thanks, Vladislav. Back to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, Anton, and thank you to Vladislav Rukinski. I'll get it out in a minute. It was his first game here when he started playing, and he's telling it. He's a very modest guy, but his skills and ability to score goals are very creative indeed. And his combination, in particular with Vigasov, have been scintillating to watch. We will be back with you in about 10 minutes for the second period.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads.
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
because when things feel just right,
Who knows where your best will take you?
This game is our canvas.
our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way.
The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies, but in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
Flex your stick.
or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
and they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
because when things feel just right,
Who knows where your best will take you?
This game is our canvas.
our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies, but in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
you play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads.
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
Because when things feel just right,
who knows where your best will take you.
And welcome back, everyone, to the iceHQ Ice Rink here in the Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, for the iceHQ Pro League Summer 23-24. Start of the second period between this very tense struggle so far between the CCM Dogs and the Snipers. It's 0-0, Gossie. Not what we expected, and it's been pretty exciting. A magnificent save at the end of that first to deny Bradley Apps by Mikey James. Number of good scoring opportunities by both teams. We've seen in particular combinations between Raczynski and Vajasov, but the Snipers have been up to them, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been a hard-fought battle, and I mean, we spoke about the energy levels required by the Snipers. We're seeing that. They're rolling the lines. They're able to get some offensive zone. I had a quick chat with the coach, Austin Lefkowitz, just in between the first and second, and they were saying they just need to get more shots on net. And I have to agree with them. They're getting offensive opportunities, but they're sailing it over top of the crossbar. And, you know,
Every
Chris
time you miss,
Leatham's
the goalie looks good.
Exactly. Chris Leatham's a good goalie, but you're not going to beat him if you don't get it on net. But I think save of the game probably had to go to Mikey James, who came out on Apps there late in the first period, where he came and poke-checked that one right out of the zone, and Liam Webster was waiting there hoping to pot it into the empty net, but he couldn't because his teammate had to tag up.
That's certainly one for the highlight reels, that one. It was a superb save there by Mikey James. Apps was away and clear and got past everyone just in those dying few moments of that first period. There was just the one power play, and it was to the Dogs, to the Snipers. The Dogs did a great job of shutting it down with Vajasov in particular, just holding the puck and skating it around backwards and forwards throughout their zone. And the Dogs got a few scoring chances on it. I'm not sure that the Snipers actually got a shot on that power play.
They had two shots, a couple blocking arm saves there by Mikey James, but you're right, it was all Vajasov really with the puck on his stick. Interestingly, this is also the first game this season that's been drawn 0-0, no goals through one period. But I doubt that's going to stay. I mean, Burke, Vajasov, Raczynski, they've scored every single game this season.
We're not watching we're not watching the Leafs, so hopefully we'll see some goals scored.
Well, here we go, and it's Joyce facing off there, and it's on the stick of Raczynski. We interviewed him between the first and second. He said he was hungry to get on the score sheet, and was lucky to play with his all-star teammates.
So look for the Dogs to try and change the lines a little bit and try and see if they can get Raczynski and Vajasov away from McMahon in defence.
And there it is. So it's stopped up to Vajasov, who turns on a dime there and gets that into the offensive zone. Puck's deep in the corner now. Comes out to Raczynski, takes a shot, saved by Leatham. Back there and he scores! Astafiev with the shot, and it was Vladislav Raczynski on the doorstep, batting it in for his 10th point this season. What a goal by the Russian.
I reckon that one might have gone in, notwithstanding, even without the tip in. Astafiev got a great shot in there. He was unmarked in a high slot position as the Snipers were all caught down a little bit too deep. And they're probably trying. It's what happens when you've got everyone marking up on Vajasov and Raczynski. You're going to have free players, and in that case, it was Astafiev, and he had time and space and took a great shot.
So Vajasov and Raczynski continue their streak this season. They've got a point in every single game, and the Dogs are up 1-0 with Raczynski's 7th goal of the season.
Robinson just chips it in deep and then chases it. He's
now
playing forward today, Robertson.
Yeah, half wall here, sent over to Peng. Chips it over there, and it's Jacob Laver who has it now for the Snipers. Just stops up and gives it over to Kevin Peng. Chips it up there from Nave. Back to Laver. So here comes Laver for the Snipers. Wines takes a shot right into the glove hand there of Michael James.
Mikey James saw that one coming. No surprises were there. It was just trying to thread the gap between pad and glove, but James saw that one from a long way away. And in the end made looks like a pretty routine save. So nice work there by Mikey James, but a good shot on, a good creative opportunity by the Snipers.
So Kikuchi there looking to center to Lazzarato, but it's intercepted by Lockie Walls, who streams into the offensive zone. Drops it. Serini with a shot and a blocking arm save there by Leatham sends that into the corner. Chips into the neutral zone. Robertson playing on the right side of defense, sends it forward to Jamie Burke. Gives it up to Serini, back to Burke. Burke with a move, can't get around Peng. Snipers in their own zone looking to get it out, and now they will through Laver. Laver sent it up to Nave and into the offensive zone. The Snipers come now. Laver calling for it, but Nave sends it cross ice. Kikuchi in the corner, battling hard there with Serini. Burke comes in for help, and Burke now with his 3 line mates on a 3-on-1. McMahon back for the Snipers. Jamie Burke winds, takes a shot, save, puck's loose, and a great job there by Leatham to fight it off, and the Dogs 3-on-1 aren't able to capitalize there, and a shot with a nice blocking arm save there by James, who's calling that it hit the netting, but no whistle by the referee.
It's a little bit disappointed there for the Dogs. Berkey was in a great shot, and there's a beautiful, juicy rebound, but he didn't have anyone crashing the net. And as a result, it went begging.
We won't see the replay with live action here, but if you go back, it was Michael McMahon tying up Jamie Burke, but the Dogs are coming back now, and who else to mop it up but the big man they call Muff, Michael McMahon. Backhands that down, looking for Webster, and on a dime finds him. Webster curls away, gets hit down by Khalil, and now with a nice poke there by Knox, the Dogs will get out. Luke Buchanan here now has it. He'll just send that deep, but fans on that one, which is going to allow Astafiev, but he gets his pocket picked. Over to Webster, fakes the shot, pass now in front, it's off a skate. And as the Dogs touch up, we will have a penalty here, and it's going to go towards the Dogs. 2 minutes for hooking.
So that'll be the second time the Dogs have to kill the penalty. So sustained pressure there by Webster, just circling around and just managing the puck. He's got a very different puck handling style to Vajasov, but it's just as effective. I wouldn't call it silky, but certainly keeps puck in control when he's under a lot of pressure.
So nice face-off won by Cutter there, and it's on the point back with McMahon, who nice little slap pass over to Birchler. Back to Sincata, looking to give it back to Birchler, but Verjasov knocked that out into the zone. Verjasov looks to tie up Sincata, and Sincata does get around, and Verjasov lays the body on Sincata, and they both argue about a couple high sticks there in that option, but the puck still goes the other way. In the Dog zone, down a man. They go D to D, and Lockie Walls rims that one around, but it's kept in by Apps only momentarily. And here comes Verjasov, 1-on-2 alone, takes a shot, goes high and wide, gets the rebound, and what a kick save there by Leatham. Oh man, and there's...
It's just going to blow up.
And it's Verjasov who is going after Sincata, and Michael McMahon's come in to play policeman, and they're both going to go each for roughing.
So Sincata originally got tangled up with Vajasov, and Vajasov caught a stick across the face. Might have been unintentional, but certainly there was a fair bit of stick waving around. That's escalated quite quickly. And then in that little play, Vajasov came in on his own, tried to get a shot away, and was pushed over from behind, it looks like, by Sincata, and then jumped back up, and immediately there was McMahon to enforce it.
It goes back to the, as you mentioned, the first play going down. It was the hard battle right in front of us with Sincata. And Sincata and Verjasov seemed to be going jawing one another, and then Muff had seen enough with the leadership and came in, and they're both sitting for 2 or less now.
So it's 4 on...
Or coincidental, so they will both sit the 2 minutes. So here's Birchler giving it across. Peng walks down Main Street, but blocked there by Stringer. Kept in by Kikuchi. Nice job to evade that. It's with Apps. Cutter's in the middle. Cutter can't get a stick on it. Back to Kikuchi. He walks around one forward there. Still has it. There's 23 seconds left on the power play here for the Snipers.
Okay, Wall's doing a great job there. Just keeping that sustained pressure on the Snipers, not letting them get easy shots away.
And here it is now. It comes out to Peng. Peng's got a lane, but it hits a skate there of the Dogs and moves into the corner. Birchler has it. Gives it back to Kikuchi. He walks the line, just chips it back over to Birchler. Birchler, now the shot takes a deflection off a skate, and we're back to 5 aside. So the Dogs have killed their second penalty, and the puck's now deep in the Sniper zone, and fresh out of the box was Knox.
Knox and Burke now with an opportunity. They've got a bit of space.
Burke's over there for Knox.
Why did he miss that?
Couldn't put it on. Jamie Burke looking to add to his point total as well. He's the only player left that has a streak here from the beginning of the season yet to get a point.
And Matty Knox had
poke check there. Leatham's down, and the goal is waved off as Matthew Knox was in the back of the net, and that prevented Ryan Ruddle from getting on the score sheet today.
And you've got to say that from that previous shot, Berkey passed that pass across beautifully to Knox, but he just fanned on it completely. There was nothing but open net in front of him. Tommy Forrest was completely committed to it. But Leatham, was committed and was wide open. I reckon if you're Matty Knox, you'd be whacking yourself for that.
Yeah,
but,
tough one.
We've all missed him from there. That does suck when it happens. It's like, oh, what, missed. Well, you've got to get the puck, eh?
It all has to do with the hard work, and they were in the right opportunity. And the little line change here now is, as Jamie Burke's just reminding the team about the rules there. As it's 5-on-5, they got to wait to the next whistle. So there's Ryan Ruddle, who's joined Jamie Burke on this line now with Serini. So nice little change here. See if we can get the Kiwi activated there with Burke. And now it's Jamie Burke going in. It's Lockie Sincata, who is all part of that little bit of melee earlier to cause those coincidentals. But icing is waved off as there was a deflection there by Lazzarato into the deep zone. And now battling behind the net, the Dogs do get it out. And it's Serini here on a Carini on the breakaway shot. What a save! Chris Leatham, how do you do? Carini, point blank.
That was one of the most spectacular glove saves we've seen from absolute point blank range on a flying run there. Carini was absolutely, totally unmarked and loads of space. What a flash of the glove. That was pretty spectacular, Gossie.
It is a shame that we're having some technical difficulties tonight and we can't roll that one back for you because Chris Leatham just snatched that right out from going top shelf. What a save there by the sniper to keep this at a 1-0 game for the Dogs.
Well, the Dogs have been a bit more dominant through this period so far. Shots on the net in favour, 7-4, but certainly the vast majority of the play. They've put a bit of heat on in this period, had a bit of a lift.
But here's Barrett looking to equalize here. The Snipers. It's on the half wall, the shot on block, and that bounces all the way down the ice. And there's a foot race on now. Kevin Peng being hunted down by Vadim Verjasov, and he does get the puck out to Astafiev, and he couldn't put that into the gaping net. It's back to Joyce with a shot deflected. Puck's loose, and a rebound there by Rachinsky right into the netting as the Dogs pounce there, but couldn't beat Leatham.
We've certainly seen in the last couple of minutes a real lift in the Dogs' intensity. The Snipers have been on their heels a little bit since that penalty and that little bit of fracas. I think that's put a bit of fire up there. We certainly saw some heat coming out of Vajasov when he was skating down to try and win that foot race. And we're just waiting for the goal to get put back in position.
Super important.
Pretty amazing period so far, Gossie.
So back to Astafiev. He fanned on that pass, but it worked over to Graham. And now the puck rolls out into the neutral zone, and Corey Stringer has it. He sends that deep into the sniper zone. Looking to forecheck there is Knox. He bounces the puck off, gets it looking for Gowers, but Michael McMahon there to mop up.
Gowers just a little bit on his heels there, waiting for the puck to come to him rather than moving forward, and McMahon saw that hesitation and took the puck.
And here's Davey Barrett chipping in, but couldn't chip it short side as that one just went wide. Luke Buchanan now behind in the far corner, chips it back to the point for Michael McMahon. He'll walk the line and look for a shooting lane, but chip it back over there for Webster. He then takes the shot, looking for a Barrett deflection, but it goes into the corner and now stolen by Stringer and out into the neutral zone. Gowers and Knox chasing in, but Sincata first there for the Snipers. With it now is Astafiev here for the Dogs as they look to come the other way. A nice move. There's a shooting lane. Decides to pass, and Graham had his stick lifted, and it comes back to Astafiev, and he scores! Maxim Astafiev on the score sheet again, this time potting a goal, assisted by Graham, who gets his first point for the Pro League season.
You could see just on that play too, Sincata got caught up high trying to make a high challenge, and just got deked around, and that's resulted in that odd rush. The initial shot not successful, but then it caught Leatham out on his feet, and again, this is second and third effort coming through, picking up that puck, and the Dogs have been there in numbers, and they just swept on that rebound, and in she went.
So Maxim Astafiev, his second point, he's been all over the score sheet tonight as the Dogs now have a 2-0 lead here in the second period.
10 shots to 5, the Dogs to the Snipers in this second period so far, with just under 6 minutes to play, so about 2/3 of the way through the period. It has been all Dogs. Certainly the last 5 minutes, it's been an absolute rush.
But here come the snipers. It's Apps who had that great chance that was poke-checked away by James. And it's Kikuchi now with a shot and a blocking arm save there by James. Puck's now with Birchler, who cycles it behind to Apps. Being watched there by the Dogs. Puck goes into the corner, and the Dogs now will get it out into the neutral zone. It's chipped over the head of Peng. Ryan Ruddle battles in, and he will get there first. Knocks down Peng, but Kikuchi comes in to support his D partner, and now Apps will get it out here for the snipers.
Peng was trying to take Ruddle off the puck, and it didn't quite work out the way he was expecting it to. Ruddle was ready for it and just rode him into the boards. And Burke just reminding Peng that it's contact, and Burke's going to do 2 minutes there, I suspect, for a charge. And then Peng fairly unhappy about that as well. So Jamie will do 2 minutes probably. And Peng's going to get 2 minutes as well. And we will have 4-on-4 for 2. So there's a little bit of discussion about exactly what the refereeing decision is.
So there we are. Jamie's not happy about it, but a couple guys in the penalty box. Dogs up 2-0 here, and I did make a mistake on the call. So earlier I thought it was deflected by Raczynski, that first goal, but it has been credited to Maxim Astafiev. So he got his second goal of the game all over the puck tonight.
It was that shot in from the point. 4-on-4 now, which creates a bit more time and space for everyone. So the Dogs with Raczynski and Vajasov up forward.
So a couple chats going on in the penalty box between a couple players, but here's Verjasov for the Dogs. Wines looks to center it, but Sincata was there for the snipers.
And they keep catching Leatham just staggering around as he's trying to get back on place.
Here's Raczynski on it now, drops it here for Verjasov. He's got Astafiev at the point, looking for a hat trick potentially. He activates, it comes to Raczynski. Astafiev's wide open, hands up, so there will be a delayed penalty. Astafiev shot, looking for the deflection there by Joyce, but over to Knox. James is to the point, so it's 5-on-4 now here with Verjasov with the puck.
As soon as the snipers touch the puck, the game will stop.
Comes over here to Joyce. Joyce over to Astafiev, and it clears everyone, and Lazzarato looks to get there first, but doesn't. So what a play there by Astafiev to beat Lazzarato to the puck, and that's going to extend this 5-on-4 advantage here for the Dogs.
All this time, it's not possible.
Raczynski dropping to Verjasov, over to Raczynski off his skate, and eventually, finally, Spencer Nave touches the puck, and we will have a penalty going to Spencer Nave, and the Dogs will have a short 4-on-3 power play.
Those of you not familiar with the rule, if a penalty is called and the player is still on the ice, then the game can continue and the offending team can't score. As soon as they touch the puck, the game will be stopped. So the team that's the beneficiary of the penalty, it's called a delayed penalty, they can pull their goalie and throw an extra player on the ice, sure in the knowledge that unless they score an own goal, and it does happen.
And don't think it doesn't happen. I mean, we saw it a couple weeks.
It happened last week.
Chris Letang and Evgeny Malkin fumbling in front of the net, and,
that's right.
And that was a little bit of a mishap. But 5-on-4 power play here with just over 2 minutes remaining. Or 4-on-3, sorry, 4-on-3 power play that we've got in. And out comes the player. So it will be 5-on-4 as Burke and Peng come out of the net, come out of the box. Liam Webster has the puck. He's stolen by Carini. He's joined by Burke and Graham here. It drops to Burke. Burke over to Graham, shot, and he scores! Graham scores his first goal of the season, his second point of the game, and who else gets on the score sheet but Jamie Burke that makes that 5 games in a row.
And he came out of the penalty box with a bit of fire in his belly, and it certainly lifted the intensity a little bit. There was a fair bit of drawing going on backwards and forwards between himself and Peng. And came out and straight away with it. What made the snipers look a little bit silly there with that play. They had Graham totally unmarked just on the opposite corner. Not much Leatham could do about it. Berkey just made a precision pass to the stick and tap, and it went. And we are now out to a 3-0 lead with just over a minute to play here in the second.
Well, with the 2 points here tonight, Madsen Graham has broken the goose egg for the season, and all we have left for the Dogs is Matty Knox and Ryan Ruddle to complete bingo for every teammate in the team getting a point this season. So the puck's deep in the sniper zone. It's with Kikuchi, who looks to clear it. He misses it, and Buchanan's going to chase down, forcing Michael James to come out of the net.
A little bit of heat now on
Peng knocked forward, falls down, no penalty on the play though, and it's with Webster who takes a shot into the chest there of Michael James.
So in the last 30 seconds or so, there's been about 3 hits on Peng. The Dogs are not happy with him.
Yeah, a little slash that he took on their captain, Jamie Burke. Definitely.
That's going to wind this period down. Just on the 20 seconds to go, we've got this last face-off to play. And then we will have the end of the second period. So it's 3-0 with just on 10 seconds. Drop of the puck, and the Dogs win it behind. Just played out there by Joyce, finds Vajasov, but just gets carried across into the Snipers bench, and that will run down the remaining 2 seconds. And we are now at the end of the second. A very fiery second period indeed. A fair bit of heat there between the two teams, and it was almost all Dogs. They came out with that intensity that Raczynski was talking about that they needed, and Astafiev with 2, one beautiful shot from the high slot, which just absolutely went in off no one, and then Graham scoring one on the power play as well, which was a superb goal. Berkey jumping back on the ice after a penalty that he wasn't very pleased with, but it's hockey, things happen, and it's not always intentional, but sometimes things do get a little feisty. 3-0 the lead now, as we will be having a cut. We're going to cut across to an interview, and it looks to me as though Gossi has himself Mikey James, who has pulled off a couple of fantastic saves, running out to get that puck very quickly indeed. So we'll cut over across to Gossi and Mikey just as soon as they get themselves organised.
Yes.
Shots on the net, though. We're cutting across to the interview right away.
Alrighty, Carl, I'm here with the big Michael James, the star goaltender of the season, coming into tonight with a 9.49 goals, or 9.49 save percentage, not goals against average. That would have been pretty tough.
That's not uncommon for me, so yeah, you could be close, yes.
So you had a sparkling game so far, perfect as of 2 periods.
Thanks for jinxing me. Yeah.
As a goalie, I didn't say the S word, so that's okay, you know. But I think, one of the best saves that we were talking about in the booth was that poke check in the first period. Obviously, a guy coming down to breakaway. What's going through your head for that?
Well, I just saw that it was probably a step behind and thought, I'd rather give the opportunity to me to break up the play than give him a chance for a breakaway. It was Apsey coming down. He's pretty good with his hands, so thankfully he jumped out of the way right as I touched the puck and probably did the right thing for me. He could have bowled me over 100%, so thanks, Apsey.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some of those plays. I know I've had them myself as a goalie that when they work out, they're the best save ever. When they don't work out, it looks a little bit foolish, but that one definitely was great. Now, obviously up 3-0. You guys heavily outshot the Snipers in that period, but this team, they're the only ones to get a score, to get a result against you guys so far this year. They're going to be coming strong. What's kind of going through your mind as you kind of, speak to your defenders in order to shut down the rest of the game?
Well, thankfully the guys keep him to the outside almost all the time. Like Webby's trying to get in close. You saw that shot at the end, and he can't get past the blue line really. So I think I just got to be, hoping the guys continue that play. But I guess I expect them to get inside at some stage, and I've just got to be ready for it.
Well, hopefully they keep that going on, because if you can see the puck, you can stop it. You've been having a great game, and hopefully you can continue that and backstop the team to another victory. They're perfect with you in the crease, so I think that might have something to do with your great goaltending.
God, I hope so.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks, guys. With Mikey James, get back into the room, and I'll send it back to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, Gossi, and thank you to Mikey James. A fantastic little interview there, and he is having an outstanding game, and we can't mention the S word if you are superstitious, because it is hockey after all. In that period, we saw the Dogs outshoot the Snipers 11-6, and the shots that the Snipers had were mostly from bad angles, with the exception of that breakaway from Apps, which Mikey James did such a fantastic job of shutting down. We've got about 12 minutes now before the third period will be underway, so we will join you in 12 minutes for the third period.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
you play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
and they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
Because when things feel just right,
who knows where your best will take you.
This game is our canvas.
our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
it's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies, but in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
Flex your stick.
or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
and they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear
and feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
You play your best.
Because when things feel just right,
who knows where your best will take you.
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
it's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies.
But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
and they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
You play your best.
because when things feel just right,
who knows where your best will take you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the iceHQ ice rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, where we are about to start the third period of what has become a torrid tussle indeed between the Reservoir Dogs and the Snipers. At the end of the first, it was 0-0 and a very tight game indeed, but it blew up in the second. Dogs came out with a firecracker and scored 3 goals in quick succession, 2 to Maxim Astiff and 1 to Matheson Graham, from a beautiful pass across the front of the net by Jamie Burke, and Lysis Carini getting his first point here for the night as well. For Jasov with 1, and also Rachitsky with a point. Graham with a point, and as well as a goal, and Lockie Walls with the setup on that second goal. But where it got interesting, Anton, was the penalties. It heated up a fair bit towards the second half of that period with a bit of an altercation between Jamie Burke and Kelvin Peng, which escalated a little further. And when they got back on the ice, hostilities continued for a while. So the referees will need to get on top of that pretty early and make sure it doesn't get out of control. So, Gossie, what are you thinking about this third period? What are we going to see?
Look, if you're a fan of the Dogs, you probably just want the simple plays, get the puck deep, get some offense going. Try not to blow this out of the
put pucks in deep, put pucks on the net. Put pucks in deep,
exactly,
put pucks in the net.
exactly. But I mean, if you're the Snipers, you know, you might. They got to get on the offensive foot. You heard Mikey James talk about it on the interview between the second and third about how the Dogs have been able to keep them to the outside. They've got to try to find a way to get into that slot area and get some eyes in front of the goaltender. If he can see that puck, he's going to stop it. And we're already starting to see a little change of the lines. So Coach Drew Coffray deciding to switch it up. And he's put Kikuchi up forward, and he's put Liam Webster back in the center. But he loses the face-off there to Kahu Joyce. And the Dogs now with the puck to start the third. Raczynski here, skating it through, sending it over there to Joyce. Joyce watched by McMahon, and the puck stolen there by Kikuchi. You know Kikuchi can skate. We've seen him skate from the backhand forward so far this season, but first time up front now. It's Michael McMahon there on the point, rimming it around. Kikuchi has it behind the net, looking to center that, but it clears through absolutely everybody and goes down the length of the ice.
It won't go for icing because it actually ended up being technically a shot on the net.
And Kikuchi's calling for it, but it comes over to Lazzarato, and the Snipers now into the offensive zone. Kikuchi looking for Lazzarato, and he just tips that one wide.
Stringer was there and just interrupted that play. Kikuchi waiting for that long stretch pass. It's a very low percentage option, that pass across. He may be running as a bit of a decoy.
Raczynski to Verjasov, and he's not able to hit that one on target, although quite the acrobatic move there by Chris Leatham in the net. Puck's on the near side half wall. It's on the stick of the Estonian Vadim Verjasov, and the puck now comes out to Lazzarato there for the Snipers. He chips that into the neutral zone. A little bit of an injury report. Logan Gallagher will not take any more part in this game as he's out with a lower body injury after making a shot block there early in the second. You can see him there working the door there with the coaching staff there for the Snipers. So they'll be Snipers without their leading scorer for the season, although he hasn't scored in 2 games. This will be his third. So
see how the Snipers set up for this face-off. They've got to score goals quickly now. They've only got 16 minutes to play. They need at least 3.
Nice face-off won there by Barrett as the Snipers are able to keep it in. Barrett gets the puck knocked off his stick, and it comes to the Kiwi. Ruddle now with Carini. Carini looking to give it back to Ruddle. Ruddle, one of only 2 Dogs players yet to get a point so far this season.
Perhaps being closely watched there by Robinson.
Puck's now in the Sniper zone as Jacob Laver, fresh off a little trip over to Canada over the holiday period. And it now comes over to Peng. So Peng up front looking to center it to Barrett. It's blocked there by Robertson as he chips that up to Jamie Burke. He's with his good buddy Ryan Ruddle, who has it there, skating through the zone, gets around Cutter, looks to give it across to Carini, but intercepted by Barrett, and the Snipers come the other way.
Barrett just lost a little bit of footing there, trying to get a pass across through the slot, but couldn't quite complete the play.
So tied up there is Ryan Ruddle by the Snipers, and there's a few players battling with it, and it squirts out there to Robertson behind the net as he's tied up by Cutter. Nice move by Robertson, kicks it up to his stick to evade Barrett, but there was Apps to keep it in.
Apps with some good pressure there on Robertson, but finally Ruddle makes the clearance, finds Burke.
He comes in, he's got Matt Knox with him. Burke being watched heavily there by McMahon. And the puck's just pinned up there on the wall as everyone's digging for it. And we'll see if the puck does come out, and it does. Ray Khalil sends that deep, and we will have a penalty here to the Snipers as Burke and Nave battled up there close to the Sniper bench there. So the Dogs are going to go to their penalty, to their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1 so far, as Spencer Nave is going to go for roughing.
They didn't actually get the power play goal in that last goal, but it was an effective power play goal because I think Burke had come straight back on, and the game hadn't really had a chance to reset.
Well,
So it's
Jamie,
not technically a power play goal, but
yeah, Jamie Burke
effectively.
doing what he does best, getting under people's skin. You saw Nave there was complaining to the official about something, but Burke will be happy to be sitting on that point position in the power play and look for that cross seam pass. They were 2 for 2 last week, and it was all from getting that puck back to Burke and looking for that cross seam over to Verjasov there for the one-timer in what you could call Ovi's office, or where Austin Matthews has scored a lot of goals so far this season. But it comes back to Burke, who drops it over to Raczynski. That just went off his stick, and Raczynski regains that there in the corner.
He's just trying to be a little bit smart with the look-away pass. He didn't actually look where the pass was
But
going.
a nice move there by Burke as he walks forward, activating off the point, curls around behind the net, and gives it over to Raczynski. It's back now to Walls. To Raczynski. Burke fakes the shot and just fanned on that one, and that's going to allow McMahon to chip that forward to Webster now into the offensive zone. He waits shots, and that was a little knuckle puck that went wide, and Kikuchi not able to keep it away from Verjasov, and here come the Dogs the other way.
Dogs with numbers as the Snipers get changes.
Burke to Verjasov. Verjasov shot, and that one goes high and wide. Raczynski chips that. It just bounces off a stick, but it comes back there to Verjasov, now to Burke. Dogs with some offensive pressure as they look to set up. Burke and Verjasov swap places, and Burke tried to send that cross seam to Astafiev, who's looking for a hat trick. Verjasov back to Burke now, being watched by Kikuchi. Walking the line, Verjasov back to Burke. Burke winds, nice little toe drag, and Kikuchi intercepts it, and he's off, short-handed on a breakaway. Chopped down there by Verjasov, but referee on the scene happy with that as Vadim Verjasov has the defensive play of the game, blocking Kikuchi on a short-handed breakaway.
Back to 5-on-5 hockey.
Here's Raczynski looking to center it. It knocks off the side of the net, and Cutter will just bounce that forward, looking for Barrett. He's one-on-one. Apps comes in for support, but Robertson able to knock the puck off the sniper stick.
I think Barrison thought he was clear. He didn't realize that he had...
Look at the battle of Barrett. I love watching this guy play, and as for someone who plays on his beer league team, he's a great teammate to have on your squad for sure. Here's Verjasov circling in his zone. He's got the puck on his stick. Head up, looking for it. He's been out for over 2 minutes here, and now he'll go for a change. Knocks with a shot, bounces off the glass, and to it is Jacob Laver, but it's stolen by Astafiev looking to center it. Gower's stick was lifted, and the Sniper's now out in the neutral zone. Graham, 2 points tonight, a goal and an assist, his first 2 of the season, has the puck on his stick. Can't get around Birchler, though. Dogs will regroup with just over 11 minutes remaining here in the third period. Comes back over to Freight Ray Khalil. Haven't seen too many big hits from him tonight.
I think the Snipers have been pretty good at staying out of the way most of the time, with the exception of Peng in the latter half of the last period.
Puck back to Robertson. Shot blocked there by Sinkata, and Birchler now comes the other way. He's got Khalil looking at him, and he's able to dipsy doodle around the Canadian there, and the puck's centered, but knocked away by Knox into the corner.
Berkey snuck out behind everyone looking for a stretch. McMahon watching him.
And Ray does find Jamie Burke, and now it's a 2-on-1, although Sinkata's charging back, and Graham wasn't able to find Burke. And now it's a 3-on-2 the other way, but a missed pass there by Nave. Couldn't find Buchanan, and now we've got it going. So back and forth hockey. Here's Carini, winds, shoots, and shoots that high.
I think we might have had a little bit of Chris Latham on that one. I think he got a hand on it.
Puck now over to Webster. He's in on the offensive zone, curls, takes it to short side, and tried to chip that over the blocking arm shoulder of Michael McMahon, but instead hit it over the net completely.
Webster did a good job there of getting around Freight Ray, but couldn't get around Latham, who is on a blinder tonight. Sorry, not Latham, I should say Mikey James. Mikey James having an absolute blinder tonight with so far 24 saves. Sorry, 17 saves. 19 saves. We'll get there eventually when the system catches up.
So Webster wins that back, but Verjasov pounces on it, and he's going to go with speed. On his off wing, cuts into the middle, gets it over to Joyce. Joyce over to Raczynski, and he misses the wide open net. And that's going to spring the Snipers the other way. And it's Yuga Kikuchi with the puck on his stick. And Webster now chipping it back to him into the slot area, but Kahu Joyce knocked that away from Paul Lazzarato.
Once again, back there to clean it up for the Dogs is Lockie Walls. He has been an absolute rock this evening.
Puck comes up to Kikuchi. Kikuchi forward, still with it. And now the puck deep down behind the corner. So Kikuchi battles with Joyce. Joyce wins out on that one, but Lazzarato centers that, and it's intercepted by the Dogs, and they now come out through.
Oh, Rachinski's pass there to
Jasov.
Jasov. Absolute precision.
Puck left. It's Joyce with a shot, and that goes wide to the right side. And Astafiev not able to keep it in, and we'll have a 2-on-1 if Joyce can't get back. But a shot there hits the shins, or the toes, really, there of Stringer, and you see that one stung.
Stringer goes off to get a change. He'll be sitting down for
This
a while.
is the forecheck of Barrett that I absolutely love to watch. He has tenacity unlike any other player on the ice. And there's a shot on rebound, and he scores! Todd Cutter breaks the deadlock after a great forecheck by Dave Barrett. Won the puck, and the Snipers now have erased one, and they're only down by 2, 3-1 here late in the third period.
So we have a game. It's the goal they certainly needed. The Snipers, they're on the board now, so now you can say shutout Gossi without cursing anyone. I don't think there's been a shutout so far throughout this entire series. Every team has managed to score at least one. So the Snipers on the board with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play. It's been mostly against the play, but it was, as you say, a determined forecheck there by the Snipers, created the opportunity. And if you get enough shots on the net, sooner or later one of them goes in.
So here we go. We've got a game in our hands with 7.5 minutes remaining, and who else but Dave Barrett first in on the forecheck. Cutter fresh off the goal to make it 3-1, gets it back to his defensive teammate, and Apps now sends that deep, and the forecheck begins. Cutter will be first in for the Snipers, but Robertson will collect it for the Dogs and get it out to the captain, Burke, who chips that forward, and the puck just stops there in the netting as our good friend Ryan Hines able to knock that out.
Ryan Hines, the beer league director here at iceHQ, who makes all of our beer leagues happen. Next season, big changes coming up in the beer league.
Very
we'll
exciting.
Have 9 divisions. Very exciting indeed.
I love the promotion and relegation. Yep. A little bit on the line for some of those teams down at the bottom if things didn't really work out the way that you want.
Yeah, I don't like that so much.
So here we go. The puck's now back on the point. A stick lift by Burke, and that's going to allow the Dogs to go the other way. Carini with speed takes a shot, a kick save, and a beauty there by Leatham. And now the puck comes all the way down into the Dog zone as Walls goes D-to-D with Khalil.
Walls did a great job there, just finding that line across to Array. We do have an icing note, so the puck will be brought all the way back, and the Dogs cannot change. They've got the door open, but they're going to have to close it because they can't get a change now. There's some tired legs. It is 6 minutes to go in the third. Dogs 3, Snipers 1. On the drop of the puck will be just about right on 6 minutes to go, and there'll be some tired Dogs and some fresh legs for the Snipers. Liam Webster, watch for him. He's on his forehand for this face-off. Watch him to possibly try and chip it through and make a scoring opportunity, or maybe he'll play it back to Peng. We'll see. He plays it back to Peng. Peng shoots.
Knuckle pucking. That was deflected by Liam Webster wide, but activating off the point is Laver, and that gets thrown into an empty wing. But first to it will be Ray Khalil, and he'll just regroup that back down to Jamie Burke, who's in the safety of his own corner. A high pass into the offensive zone goes down the length of the ice, but icing waved off.
No ice.
Laver looks up for Lazzarato. He deflects that one, and icing waved off again as Lockie Walls will be first back for the Dogs.
So the Dogs in no great rush. They've got a 2-goal lead. They don't need to do anything silly. They'd like to score more goals, obviously, but 2 goals is a pretty handy lead at this stage of the game.
Carini with it on his stick. He's been all over the puck and had a grade A scoring chance on a breakaway that was caught nicely by Liam in the second. But here come the Snipers down by 2 here with 5 minutes remaining. It's the captain, Liam Webster, looking over for Lazzarato.
Webster's attack there broken up by a beautiful poke check by Stringer.
Burke goes across. Sent back behind the net for Burke.
Jamie Burke just winding the clock down, waiting for the pressure to commit.
And now he walks out from behind the net. Sends it cross. Yuga Kikuchi able to stop that momentarily. That just allows Carini to send that deep as he goes for a change.
Just a little bit of a lull at the moment. The Dogs quite content to just keep firing the puck down and slowing it down. The clock's on their side. They don't need to do any rush. The Snipers, on the other hand, they've got to hit the afterburners. And here they come in Apps.
And this line was the one that scored their first of the game, and it's on the stick of Apps. Little pass over there for McMahon. It was a little too hot to handle, but a nice poke check there by Sinkata, but here comes Verjasov. So Vadim Verjasov for the Dogs, leading point getter for the season for all teams. He's on 12 points. Curls out from behind, still with it on his stick, as he now sends that over on the half wall for Joyce. Joyce gets it back to Astafiev, over to Rachinsky. Rachinsky, toe drag, walks back to Astafiev. Had the shooting lane, but just paused for a moment to give it over to Robertson. Comes to Rachinsky, but a great poke there by Liam Webster, who's late in a shift as he goes to chase down the young Maxim Astafiev.
Astafiev was looking for his D partner, but he wasn't where he was expecting him to be. Robinson had switched across the other time. It almost looks a bit as though the Dogs are just playing around with the puck. They've got to be careful. They get a bit too cheeky, and they might give away a breakaway. But
Knox shot that in on Peng, and Peng went down, but he's back up and out from the corner is Knox now with a shot that goes wide, collected by Verjasov. Man, he can use pucks on a string, eh? And he winds out in front, shot saved there by Leatham. Comes to the point, kept in by Walls, although he wasn't 100% sure, so elected to just go D to D and regroup.
Puck definitely came out there from Walls. He couldn't quite keep that one. And Lazaretto circling around deep, looking for that stretch. The Snipers trying to get stretch passes now.
And there's Robertson looking to go back, and Walls collected that on the wrong side of the blue line, so he's just going to take that into his own zone. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in a 2-goal lead for the Dogs, 3-1. Shot on, saved there by Leatham, and he covers up.
Just on 2 minutes now to play. This defensive zone face-off for the Snipers. Good scoring opportunity if they can get behind it.
Nice save there by Leatham. Knox, overshot, scores! Graham, his second goal of the game, third point of the night, and Matty Knox grabs an assist on that one as he opens his account this season as the Dogs go up 4-1 with 2 minutes remaining here in the third.
The clock will no longer stop because the lead is out to more than 2 goals. I'm not quite sure why it stopped at the moment, but it should be running time. We're under 2 minutes now to play. 3 goals the lead to the Dogs, but we've seen things come back from here before. It can still happen if the Snipers can get away quickly. They've got the players on the ice to do it, but you can see the Dogs just taking their time, getting everything organised. No huge rush.
You can see the bench has definitely been shortened by Drew Coffray here for the Snipers as this line comes out again, the goal-scoring line. But as Mikey James covers up, there is going to be a penalty against the Dogs, and the Snipers will get one last power play here with 1:51 remaining in the third period.
Not quite sure why we're getting the stop time here. My understanding of the rule was if the goal differential was less than 2, then the stop time
Well, let's
would
just
happen.
appreciate
But
that we
getting
get
it,
a
so we're
little
getting
bit
more
more
hockey.
time of hockey, eh?
Getting more hockey, absolutely. It's not going to overtime, probably not, but 3 minutes now, 3 goals, the deficit. Snipers need to win this one, and they do.
Oh, and it bounces off the stick of McMahon, and you'd think they'd need to get one very quickly because they do need 3 if you're the Snipers.
Just a little bit of a bad bounce there for Muff. You could see the tumbling puck just kind of went over the top of him.
Here's Apps curling out. He's around the net. Look to go short side, and great block and arm save there by James. Apps just collects that on the half wall. He walks out, looks to go across over to McMahon, who takes a shot, and that's deflected into the corner by James. Barrett behind the net, head up, look to give it back to McMahon. Sinkata's open if he chooses to find him, and he does. Winding shot blocked there by Carini.
Just deflected off Carini's skate. Just over a minute now to play. 3 goals now at the deficit. McMahon can't handle that puck. It goes all the way down the other end.
And it's stopped up there by Leatham. So we're down to the final minute of play. Game is 4-1 for the Dogs as they look to make it 4 in a row against the Snipers.
We've got Snipers are offside at the moment as well, but it's wiped off now. 40 seconds to play, and Dogs down with the puck deep in their end. It's just a little bit of a loose puck now, bobbling around the side. They managed to keep it in Max DeVief. Tries to get a shot around the front, but it's picked up by Webster. Playing it up the ice now. Gets around Burke, finds Lazzarotto. Lazzarotto with a little bit of room. Freight Ray Cahill tries to take it off him. Puck goes across the front of the net, but no one there for the Snipers. Now Sincotta with a last dance, takes a shot, and it is plucked out of the sky there by Mikey James, who makes that one look a routine. Sincotta was in a great spot to take the shot, but shot it high, and we all know that goalies have fast hands, and Mikey James in particular, who doesn't get a shutout tonight, but has done very well. This is probably going to be the last face-off of the game. Burke facing off against Webster. Webster can win it and get it back to McMahon. They get a chance for a shot, and that's what happens almost. McMahon wins it, so wins it across behind the back of the net now for Astafif, who just dumps it down the ice. Finds Vajasov, who just trips over the puck. With 9 seconds now to play, he's got Burke in the slot. Burke circling around the back, looking for a pass across the line. Finds Vajasov, but it bounces off a stick, and McMahon goes in to contain it in the corner, and that will wind up the game. The Dogs taking it out, 4 goals to the Snipers 1 in a game where the second period looked pretty heated, but it all settled down a little bit in the third, and it was just a 1 goal apiece in the third period. In terms of the ladder at the moment, that takes nothing changes on the ladder. The Dogs with 9 points, the Snipers with 5, and the Inferno with 2. Just in terms of how that changes things, there is 3 games left for both the Dogs and the Snipers to play, 4 for the Inferno. Any changes in the positions at the moment? It is not possible. Sorry, it's still possible for the Inferno to finish on top of the ladder, but as of next week, that may change unless they start winning games. Coming up very shortly, we will have next weekend is going to be a absolutely thrilling weekend of hockey here at the iceHQ. We have got Friday night, which will be the Snipers in the Inferno. The Inferno desperate to get a win, and the Snipers will be pretty keen to make amends for tonight, and that's on the Friday night. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we have the Women's Ducks playing against the Adelaide Rush. The Adelaide Rush have come over here for the third of the games for their attempts to qualify to get into the Australian Women's Ice Hockey League, and so the Women's Ducks teams will be playing here on Saturday and Sunday afternoons against the Adelaide Rush as invitational games, exhibition games, I should say is what they're called. So the Ducks lost their first 3, but had a win against the Sydney Sirens against all odds, except their own confidence last week, which was great to see. And we're really looking forward to seeing them fill the barn here. So we'd love to have you come along down to iceHQ on Saturday and Sunday and cheer on our Ducks as they take on the Adelaide Rush in a game which will be very interesting indeed and very important for those girls' teams to make their way through into the AWIHL next season, which is the plan. But for tonight, it was almost all Dogs. We're going to have an interview very shortly. I'm just looking to see where Anton has ended up and who he's got to interview. I can't see anyone at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be around somewhere. Just trying to spot him. He's somewhere on the other side of the rink. Don't know exactly where he is, but he can't be too far away. Looks like he's just, I think, maybe got himself with, looks like he might have Dave Barrett. I think he's going to be interviewing by the look of it. Dave Brett with some excellent forward checking there. So we'll cut across to them in just a second or two. As soon as they're ready, they're going to come across now onto the bench. So in terms of points throughout the game, we're going to cut across to the interview right now.
Alrighty, Carl, I'm here with Dave Barrett of the Snipers, one of the fan favorites. A tough game, 4-1 loss. But I mean, I think that goal that you got it really in started with that ferocious forecheck. I think that's what making you a fan favorite here. Really, that tenacity. What kind of goes through your head on each of those shifts as you kind of hunt down the puck?
Oh, I think we just had a really tough second period, and just wanted to come out with a lot of energy in the third. So, just getting our hardest. I know some of these guys, so I know a little bit of how they play. And I saw them trying to wheel out of the zone. And I just hard forecheck stayed on them, and that's how mistakes happen.
Yeah, well, I remember, I think it was last season, you got picked up in the mid-season draft. You played on the other side over there for the Dogs, and we started to learn that style of play that you're famous for, right? Going in, hard, hustling, chasing guys down. Right when they think they're ready to come with the pass, you lift the stick, right? If you're talking to some little young guys that are watching in, like, what piece of advice can you give them to kind of grow that style of hockey?
I mean, it helps if you're a great player. It also helps if you're a hard worker. If you don't have one, you got to have the other. So just trying to go out there and skate as hard as I can. They got a great team down there in the Dogs dressing room, but we got a great bunch here. I think next time we'll get them.
Yeah, well, you are the only team to take a point off them so far this season. That first game, which was 5-4. But looking ahead to next week, you guys have the Inferno. Last time you played them, you guys had a sizable lead. Have you guys talked about anything about how you need to change your style, or are you guys just trusting the way that you guys play ice hockey?
I think we're getting better at playing together every game. Some of these guys I haven't played with before, and every week there's just a bit more chemistry. We played real well last week, and we were really kind of gelling together. We showed that a bit here tonight in the first and in the third, but just a few moments in the second period there, we weren't on our game, but we're getting better every week. So I think we'll be even better next week when we play Inferno, so looking forward to it.
Well, can't wait. I love watching you play, Dave. You're a superstar out there. Thanks for the time, and we'll see you next week against the Inferno. Back to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, guys, for that quick chat. And Dave Brett was an inspirational player there for the Snipers. But he's absolutely right. It's those